OpTic Gaming have looked unbeatable at times, but it's Sunday night, my friends. You know what that means. It's time for a grand final to kick off. Sign off with the point of view of Trippy from OpTic.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals here at the HCS NA Super. $125,000 on the line between the best teams in North America. And the two teams in the finals here, OpTic Gaming and G1 going up against each other. It has been a Cinderella story for G1, their first grand finals appearance, and they have no intention of stopping.
And I don't think they've got any fear anymore. That's over for them, beating Cloud9, beating Sentinels, and beating them both in ways which they would have learnt so much as a squad and as a team. But for now, let's keep it in mind that they've got to reset the bracket first. The best of 7 has to be won here by G1 if they want to have an opportunity to call themselves champions. Squall with his camouflage. He's having a little bit of a peak battle with 4 more at the moment. Gets that first shot, backs himself to hit them, and hit them he does.
Very nice timing there, very nice discipline. Waits for the nade to come to the sneaky. Also waits for his shield to charge behind the 2-stack. Might even pick up this one. Oh, and he hits the preemptive repulsor early. The nade will come in late, so he'll be taken down. Just a few points on the board early on for OpTic Gaming.
Couple of points. However, now that ball is transferred over to G1, so you would imagine that lead's going to disappear pretty quickly here. Couple of plasma grenades going to go down. Trippy trying to lock down this player, and Swish is going to be a little bit frustrated. I think you have the repulsor in that situation. You usually think this is a couple of guaranteed easy kills for me.
Let's not forget that repulsor has already become a thing of legend for G1 fans. Devin hitting one of the most memorable repulsors of the entire Halo Infinite season in that Catalyst Slayer against Cloud9 to send them through. And since then, they've still been winning. They find themselves now in the grand finals, and with a little bit of a lead here, now 16-10.
How close this is. OpTic finally pick up a couple of kills. So Boo Boo and Squall last players alive, and one of them is sneaking around at the back of the turbine and the back of Blue at the moment. That's going to be a sneaky Blue Boo Boo Do Boo, who's trying to do what he can. He gets to stick onto Trippy, but a little bit more ball time here for OpTic. But here comes Devonator, but doesn't know Lucid's behind him. But Lucid's not connecting in a way we're used to. That's more like it, Lucid.
I was going to say, this is not what we're used to seeing from Lucid. He usually doesn't miss the first one, never misses the second one. Of course, he taps on the third one. Third time's the charm for him, and you got to think, on the side of OpTic Gaming, they know that their opponents are ready to play here, right? They are not going to take G1 lightly.
G1 who go into the most slender lead possible here, just the 1 point, as Swish is going to get the next camouflage of the game as well. So it's 2 in a row power-ups for G1. Put a shock in the hands of one of these players as well, and wouldn't be surprised to see APG not quite be able to force that one back to pipes, but there's the intangible. There's the play that doesn't show up on the stats.
Oh boy.
There's one that does though.
Wow, Swish. Camo comes off right on the mid-bridge, doesn't even worry about it. Hits the shot still. Lucid hot on his tail though, because he wants that for himself. 3 dead. APG last player alive momentarily here for OpTic Gaming. The rest of them respawning.
Look how quickly they hunt those players down as well. It's almost OpTic-esque from G1, just making sure as soon as initial damage was done, they give up map positioning because they know they've got enough battle rifles to deal with the pressure that's about to come in. For now, though, it's some trades. Squallire's last player alive is going to fall as well. A great counter push here from OpTic Gaming. Even though a lead was gathered by G1, you're going to see OpTic turn that over. They've got a full pipe setup.
Yeah, G1 does play the ball out of pipes off a bat ledge, but it only kind of sits there in the battery's corner. And with the timing of the 4 dead from OpTic, which we've seen so much from them, they very comfortably bring the ball right back in. That will now give them just about a 15-point lead.
First pick goes to Boo Boo Doo Boo. That means there's space, and once again, look how quickly G1 pounce on it. One more picks up one as well. Lucy going to repulse her back just to make that shot as difficult as possible to take his shields down and take him into the death screen. But still, with this shot, still causing problems here. So a slender lead, even though it is for OpTic Gaming, it's probably the most monumental one we've seen so far in this first round.
See what Lucy can do here. Commando now in hand. 2 dead for G1. Kills will be traded out, though, with Trippy. A little bit of a slow start here. You can tell these teams really providing a lot of respect to each other, wanting to have a little bit of slaying control before they go for those ball holds. It's still 42-29.
Devin challenging aggressively as well to get that weapon out of the hands of OpTic. Lucy gets taken down as well, and that'll be the camo now going over to Squaller. That's 3 in a row now for G1, which is great signs for them to get control of it, but the score isn't reflecting that power-up control at this point.
Yeah, certainly credit to Mikowski there. Making sure this team is on top of the power-ups and the players putting together the plays to make that possible. We now reach the 2-minute remaining mark. Nice little kill for Squall. That will take down Lucid out of the equation, which is certainly a welcome gift for the side of the G1 push.
Swish is going to pick up another. That should create a little bit of space here, and Squally's got so much responsibility with this play. He knows the Trippy's in front of him. He gets some damage down, but Swish is going to fall as well. So Squally now, his position's going to be given away, and he's about to walk in to the entire OpTic Gaming roster. He has the sword. He cuts one down, but it's just a trade. And how well did OpTic just play that?
Beautiful 2v1 there. They knew they might lose one player on the pipes push, but the second one will get the kill. That's rare that OpTic would mess that up. And they do come out on top, but still 2 dead for them. So nice responses from G1 in the slaying department. Now Lucid going to fly right into top gold, try to take down Devin.
Now 70 seconds left in the round as well. The lead only around 10 points or so, just over for OpTic Gaming here, which is why they're just trying to play the kill game. If they pick up 2-3 more rounds of kills, this should be the round going to them. Lucid's going to pick up a couple. That's 4 dead. Now the attention can turn to the oddball because everyone on G1 is watching this play in the death screen.
And look at this. What a time to do it. Perfect timing on the 4 dead. How many times have we talked about it this weekend? The timing and the separation between kills on OpTic is outrageous. They get 4 dead. It feels like almost every time at the flip of a switch, the press of a button, they'll get 4 dead and they get these free ball grabs. Now, as a result, they lead 60-29, 49 seconds left on the clock.
This is going to be the round going to OpTic here. There's no real way, I don't think, for G1 to get back into this, especially with Lucid just getting so much cover fire from his teammates. Lucid was taking out a one-shot there, and no one could even push him due to that cover fire that was coming in from OpTic Gaming. Lucid and OpTic finally get their first power-up of the game as well, and with Lucid just kind of patrolling around with one more sword hit here, all they're going to do is pick up one more kill, and you think this would be the first round for OpTic.
Devin knows he's there as well. Devin with C-Stairs trying to light up Lucid if he could, but now just on the prowl. This is the last player that you want on OpTic with something like a camo sword, and he's just going to continue as they're going to play Slayer here for the last 15 seconds.
15 seconds left. 3 players trapped in pipes as well for G1. 2 of them are fallen. 3 of them are fallen as well. And with that, you get the feeling this is going to be the round done and dusted. OpTic Gaming looking just as devastating and as surgical as we saw them a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, really strong late game there in that first round. They close it out very comfortably, and up until that point, we had seen some really great stuff from G1. You have to think with the speed that G1 can play, maybe they're going to be the first match, the first real test for the side of OpTic Gaming. But OpTic, as we said, they're timing their slays perfectly. They're getting these free ball grabs where they're uncontested into bat ledge and top gold, and they really rack up big 20, 30-second holds off of that.
Well, great start here on the second round coming in from G1, learning from that opening strategy of the first round. Formal taken down with the camo as well, so the camo burnt and all 4 players dropping here. A great response at the start of this second round from G1. Boo Boo also has the shock rifle, and this man has been just putting on clips for us all tournament long.
This is what you need to see. If you're a G1 fan, if you're a G1 player, get right back in this. We already know they're a momentum team. They have been on an absolute tear today. And they've ridden that momentum all the way to the grand finals, and now maybe a little bit of burst of life here. 20 points already on the board in round number 2.
Look at the pressure that's coming into Boo Boo though, but look at the rotation that's coming in from G1. A trade coming in from Boo Boo. It's a 2v2 on the map at the moment, so big moments in this game. APG and Formal combining together as well to create a 2v1 in what seemed like a difficult situation to do so, but Squally and Predevator, they turn a 2v1 into a 2v1 the other way round. Devin coming to the help of his teammate, and that will be a hold now for G1.
Look at Squall staying alive on C-Plat so well to isolate that angle, and as soon as he gets that kill, he backs off. Devin flies right in with the grenade kill. A great bait and switch from G1, and like we said, it's a very different round 2 for them.
Trippy's going to pick up one as well, and that's the flank. So now you're going to think Devin's going to try and play this ball, but instead it's going to be Trippy who says, come here, ball, I'm going to give you a cuddle for a few moments and get OpTic scoring again. Swish still got the sword, but I think he might have just looked away from the screen for half a second there. APG takes advantage.
Unlucky, he's jumping on the crates there to avoid any grenade damage, and APG happens to time it so well where he was mid-jump there, kind of on the ascent, not able to fly forward. That does cost him 3 dead. Swish is your last player alive. He's all the way back at elevator, and this will be a continued hold for OpTic.
We haven't talked about G1's mistakes so far today because quite simply there hasn't been many of them, right? But when you're playing against a team like OpTic in this grand final, mistakes get amplified. They get magnified. That little miss of a play ball at the back there when they lost a couple of players, that's why the score has completely flipped now. OpTic only a few points away from tying this up.
Triple kill, by the way, for Lucid in the feed as he's going to pick up that one and also grab the ball. And terrible thing to see if you're on the side of G1, because when Lucid starts to heat up, things can end really fast. We do have a lead change here off the back of that triple. Lucid at 17-8 with the ball in hand.
I was going to say, he's not just heating up, he's hot. He's red hot. He's white hot at the start of this first game of the grand finals. And let's just kind of remind ourselves here, right? This isn't just G1's story. This is OpTic with something to prove as well. They want to pick up another championship. They want to put themselves in the great position they want to be heading into Orlando as a team that some people would be saying is the favorite to win that first LAN event of the year. Formal also with the shock rifle, by the way. I just see its name popping up in the kill feed, and you just get the feeling that anyone who challenges at this point, well, they're going to be dead. It's quite simple.
Oh my God, great little peek here on the heady from Formal. He'll pick up another one. It's deja vu all over again. Guess what? 3 dead from Lucid. It's a 20-second ball hold. 4 dead for OpTic Gaming. It's a 40-second ball hold. 71-35. Now OpTic Gaming is doing it again in round number 2, and there might not be much time left.
Oh my God, Formal is just a keeper of the gates right now, and no one is allowed to break past the castle wall. 82 points and rising, and if it's difficult enough to push him, with the shock rifle in his hands, he's also got a sword. So Blue is locked down almost single-handedly here by Formal, and he's going to charge in now and finish off. No, he's not. He's not going to be able to finish the dinner because there's going to be 4 dead, and maybe G1. That's the spark they needed to make a little bit of a comeback in this round.
Big 1v1 here. If Boo wins this, it will keep OpTic on the respawn. Now only 3 alive, and they're all fresh spawners. It would be a huge effort required for G1 to bring this back and stay alive in the game, but they've got enough time on the clock to do so.
Also got the first pick, the most important thing to do. Formal's on the flank though, but Formal gets taken down. Wonderful prioritization of kills here from G1. They've rotated this ball into elevator. A couple of kills get exchanged, but the closest player to the ball is still Predevinator. He's still alive. Now he turns his attention towards the camo.
What kind of angle is he going to go? He has a grapple, so he's thinking about maybe an angle here. No, he doesn't get it. I think Formal grabs that camo in the end. We're going to go ahead and see. He does get it. He does pop it. That's huge. 3 dead now.
That could be the difference maker. Just a little bit of a misplay on the grapple. Maybe Formal just picked it up just before him. But I have to watch that back to get the exact answer. But from that, Formal goes a little bit rogue. He goes a little bit wild. He breaks the setup alongside his teammates. And now G1 really suffering here.
Good angle from Formal there. Going to hold that down. APG with a nice little rotate here. Is he going to be able to play the ball if he needs to? Instead, just rotate to C. This should be the round.
Anyone that pokes as well. You saw Lucid was just waiting. The remote detonation came in as players tried to push through Mangala. They weren't able to do so. And OpTic Gaming slow the momentum here of G1. They got 1-0 in our grand finals.
I think OpTic picking up where they left off earlier today. And we were wondering who's going to challenge them. So far, G1 with a solid game 1, but not enough to take down the green wall. They look just as good as they have on Championship Sunday. They'll take game number 1.
Lucid. 21 and 11 with 10 assists as well for his squad. Formal just behind him as well with 21 kills, outslaying their opponents quite comfortably here in APG. Again, APG, +2. 14 assists for him. A ridiculous amount of damage and work being done by APG in that game.
I mean, across the board, great numbers from OpTic. It looked like once again they were in control exactly when they needed to be. We'll take a look at the damage as well to see any standouts here. Unsurprisingly, you got the 6K club, APG, as well as Lucid. And take a look at APG's damage relative to his kills, right? That tells you, of course, from those big assist numbers, 14 assists once again. And it's so dangerous because it feels like even if OpTic isn't dictating the entire game, they just wait for the perfect opportunity. And as soon as you present it to them, they will get 4 dead and they will get a 30-second hold every single time.
Can't afford to make mistakes. It's quite simple. OpTic Gaming have looked almost flawless at times during this tournament, and G1 are trying to about to find that out by the looks of things, because the one mistake they made in that round cost them about 40-50 seconds of ball time. It really is that simple, and that's what it's going to come down to. Some really good moments for G1, however, just not enough of them. And those mistakes really were capitalized on by OpTic Gaming. The triple here from Lucid as well. We just caught the back end of that. But then there's the other mistake, right? The grapple play, the attempted grapple play on the camo. Maybe just a little bit of timing off. Maybe the decision wasn't the right one. But you've also got to deal with players like Formal. Just holding down this head glitch. I mean, we've seen him do it through the years on multiple different titles. You give him a head glitch, you give him a gun where he can just peel someone's head off, he's not going to miss.
I mean, you start giving Formal head glitches, camos, swords, shocks, things start to fall apart really quickly. And very good news, here was that remote detonation from Lucid, just holding the bottom A door as well. And great control from OpTic Gaming, great pushes, great timing. That will give them the 2-0 lead in that game. They'll take a 1-0 lead in the series. Next up, Slayer Livefire.
Slayer Livefire, and I heard you with a little bit of a giggle in your voice there, a little bit of a curve at the edge of your mouth as you smiled as you said it, because that is an OpTic Gaming game type. We've seen them be very good on this. G1 though, I've got to say, on Livefire today have been very impressive
think
at
about
times
that
as well.
Cloud9 match.
Exactly that.
I mean, unbelievable start. If he didn't catch it, G1 with a huge Game 1 win against Cloud9 on Live Fire Strongholds. An impressive feat. We'll see if they can repeat here on Live Fire. They show that they have what it takes to play on this map, and they would love nothing more than to even up this series 1-1 and reset the tables a bit.
I think they have to as well. I think they have to, just to give them that little bit of belief. Let's keep in mind as well, G1 have been playing game after game, series after series, so maybe the fatigue is going to be somewhat of a factor coming into this grand final right now, but one way to get rid of that fatigue and reset the mentality is to win game number 2. Game number 2 is live, as you can see on your screens at home right now, and it would be pretty silly not to start off with Lucid.
What a game from him. Feels like we say that after every single game we get to watch from Lucid. The guy tends to not miss nor make mistakes. We're underway here in game number 2. OpTic Gaming leading in the grand finals 1-0.
Lucid already got that snipe in his hands as well. First kill does go to OpTic. Damage being done by Lucid. And look at the swarm again. Look how quickly they move in on those players back tower. Squallight's going to get away though, and he's going to get 2 kills. So G1, even though they lose multiple players in that push, it leaves the door open for them to grab that overshield. This is a big moment here for Switch.
Big moment. Let's see what he can do. Still a lot of overshield to play with, and wants to make sure that he can capitalize on this. Still 50% or so, and wants to get into an engagement as fast as he can.
Problem is, the weapons aren't in their hands, and you're seeing in the kill feed right now, a heat wave, a sniper rifle, all these things mean they can just chip away at this overshield. Lucid with that grenade is going to destroy the overshield, and that's going to be 2 dead as Lucid picks up 2 with that grenade. G1 not putting the overshield to use, and now Trippy making them pay with a sandbox 2.
Such a punishing, once again, 3 dead. They get it off the break. It's 10-2 now, all of a sudden off of that damage. Even though they let the overshield go, somehow they're able to hold down house, force the overshield towards them, burn it, and they have an 8-kill lead.
All these little things as well that you notice about the movement of the players, right? Lucid, just a little drop slide, little G slide across while he banked that grenade onto the floor, making sure that anyone who was trying to hit that moving target, moving so fast, it means he's going to take as little damage as possible on his way, which keeps him alive for those few seconds. Trippy now just holding some corners, holding some angles, being a nerd, being obnoxious, but it works. As now you can see OpTic Gaming 14-6 is the lead.
Quite a trade from Devin and quite a kill from Squall as well. Great response there, bringing the game a little bit closer here. Now down by 7, still a long way to go, but making sure that the game doesn't get too out of hand.
Trippy should be taken down and will be taken down. OpTic now lose 2, and that's just the perfect time if you're a G1 fan to see those kills picked up in the feed, because the overshield is popping, and that's where all of the focus of both teams is now. APG taking down the no shields. Switch gets another one, and now he's being aggressive. Now he's looking to take down Lucid as well.
Nice job there. He nades everything he needs to. My God, nades all the way in through the door, nades the window. That meant Lucid had to come outside, takes advantage of the overshield. Now the game is within 6.
Lucid spawning back tower, going to do some damage onto Swish here as well. Devin picks up another, so you're starting to see the comeback start to formulate here for G1. The lead is getting slimmer and slimmer as the seconds tick by here, but now you start to see the game just slow down for a little bit. Swish is trying to clear out back tower. He's going to spot out APG here. He should be toast, but look at the work that's happening from other OpTic Gaming members. Swish isn't in a position to help out teammates quick enough here, and OpTic are just swarming.
Yeah, and right now he knows he can't challenge from that dirt angle. He has to try to get something like a little bit of a C-plat top tower angle if he wants to help his team fight these sandbags and maybe soon to be nest battles.
Well, now you can just see how OpTic just prioritize certain areas on the map, right? You just saw 2 players push A-plat immediately. They know the sniper rifle's up. They want to get eyes on it. They don't want to give anything away to G1. That was the next step. Did we get it? Yes or no? Okay, a decision will be made off the back of that. But also, we've got Formal. Back tower with the heat wave. This man's on the flank, and he's got multiple players in front of him. There's one. Unfortunately for him, it's only 1 because the rest of his team fall.
Wow, it looked like it was all set up, but it's 4 dead for OpTic Gaming, and the game comes within 4. The question is, how does OpTic respond after that? Keep in mind, they were just up by about 8 or 9 kills. Now it's within 4. The push doesn't work, but Trippy answers back. Let's get ready for an Astro Gaming listen-in with the side of OpTic Gaming up by 4.
One guy bottom tower, bottom tower.
Oh, absolutely, we're gonna cut something up. We can cut the door, bottom middle now, bottom middle now. Coming.
Still Devin. Nice, I got one, elbow. One shot bottom mid.
Let's go for it, I'll go for it.
Going dummy door, guys, dummy door. One shot dummy door, entire, he's full shield now. He's sniping.
We have OS. Yes. Mirror, punch on me. No, dummies.
3 on Joey, literally 3. One shot bottom mid, guys, one shot bottom mid. Ran pillars.
Oh, no, behind me, screens.
Screens to west.
I'm pushing this guy.
Chase nuts. Listen, they have weapons.
Where? I'm on A.
He was cuts. I spawn green. They could be in A.
Dummies on me.
I'm gonna
I can look dummies. I can look dummies.
right now. We need to try to get up.
He's chasing you, Matt.
In the vent.
No,
Push
slow
me
down.
back.
In this.
Watch out, watch out, boo, top middle, guys.
Sneaky.
Come in again, come in again.
Yo, rat tunnel to A right now.
Keto weak on the west.
There's two here.
In A weak, switch, one shot. One shot, window.
Behind you, watch out window, guys.
Behind me, rat tunnel.
There's one guy rat tunnel.
Rat tunnel. Going back into rat tunnel, bottom mid right now. Weak.
Bottom again.
Run away, Brad, you're good. Watching.
Watch
Watch open field. Hey, we're good. I'm watching bottom middle.
Yo, let Joey snipe.
Yo, I have a key wave.
Hiding undercut, 7.
Yo, Brad, take this
undercut,
crash.
7.
I'm
Team big door. They could fly big door multiple. Careful.
Yeah, I'm
Cuts. I think 2.
I'm watching cuts. So.
2 there. One's down the door.
Like
Speak swallow.
Yeah, I'm dying.
No, it's one shot swallow.
scamming.
Window and pit.
Yo,
You guys pit.
I'm behind them. I'm behind them. Screen key door.
Shot key door.
Nice.
Window.
Look, window. Still one shot, Jesse. Still one shot. Nice.
You're dead.
Bottom in the key door.
I'm here, Brad. Yeah, you're good, Brad. You're good. I'm here.
They're gonna play around you guys.
On OV. I hit him twice on OV.
Middle weak. Switch.
Back to
Yeah,
that.
he went down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play through.
Bottom mid switch, one shot. Absolute bottom mid switch.
One shot next bridge. One shot next bridge.
Yo, OV and sniper, guys. OV sniper.
Got
20 seconds.
You guys come in big door. Right now. Big door. Back to Nate.
Shot key door. As a key door. Squall.
You're bad.
Nice
That
go.
one. Coming in.
Yo, A flat. Screen.
We're coming.
As we jump back into the game from that OpTic Gaming listen in, you can see the score is still incredibly close. OpTic have a slender lead, but you can hear in the comms there, it was a little bit more hectic than we're used to hearing.
It certainly was. I think this is also going to be an overshield grab, if I'm not mistaken, here for the side of G1. We'll see. Once we get to those screens, it's 2 dead for the side of OpTic, and now it is a 3-kill game. Make it 2, 40-38 on the home stretch.
How quickly can they find Lucid, though? It doesn't matter how quickly you find him, you're still got to deal with this man. He goes back up the chimney, he's still got that sniper rifle, but Devon shuts him down before he does too much damage. Booby picks up another one. It's a 1-kill game. We're all tied up. As you can see, APG gives OpTic a 1-kill lead.
I got OpTic leading so long in this game, and G1 just keeping it close at all costs. It didn't matter what the delta was in the scoreline. And now, as you say, just a 1-kill game, 5 minutes left on the clock.
Where is that sniper rifle, though? It looks like G1 are trying to make a push as well. Devon's going to be top middle. He's got the heat wave as well, so he should be able to finish off this kill on APG. But APG shows incredible survivability here, and while he does that elsewhere, Lucid and Trippy pick up a couple. It's a 2-kill advantage here for OpTic. It's still 2, and it might just go up a little bit more. OpTic Gaming, a late game rally here. 3 kills the difference as the sniper rifle is passed off to Formal.
Formal's going to have the sniper, and as a result of the game in his hands, plenty of ammo to play with. A 3-kill lead and only 4 kills required to close the game out.
Boo is going to challenge. I tell you what, that wasn't too far away from removing that visor. And nor was that one. Boo now going to be re-challenging top middle. All of G1 just stacked top middle at the moment. Formal might have a real opportunity to hit a big shot. He misses one. Numerous players exchanging places from G1. This is a risky play from them. It's a ballsy play. We still have a 3-kill difference.
Oh, no! Kills traded out. Everybody weak on the rat tunnel. 48-44 here.
Trippy's flying in. Trippy's going to trade. It's 1 more kill to go. Formal's chasing it down. Misses the no-scope and falls as well. But it doesn't matter too much because the teammates are there. And OpTic will go up by 2-0 in our grand final. Formal. Beautiful little no-scope in the end of that game. It could have been very different if he didn't hit that shot.
If he doesn't hit that shot, all sorts of stuff starts to go down with 2 other OpTic players weak on the rat tunnel exit. It could have been a completely different result. Instead, he hits the shot, keeps the teammates alive, and the team steps in to finish the job. 50-46 is your final score in game number 2. OpTic will take it. Lucid, once again, 15-11.
15-11. The man has been the standout, full stop, in this tournament. He has just been putting up stat line after stat line after stat line. And APG right behind him as well with some good kills and death ratio once more for a player who's doing the job that he loves to do. But I mean, so close for G1 at multiple times in that game. They had a lot of the power-ups, Andy, but it was the weapons this time they weren't able to control.
I mean, so much credit to G1 for keeping that game close, because during the OpTic Gaming listening, when we saw them up by around 4 and 5 kills, it felt like OpTic was dictating every single moment of the gameplay, and G1 had to make really uncomfortable pushes. They had to make some sacrifices. They had to push out on Overshield. We had to see Squall make the same push on Overshield time and time again, and eventually it paid off, and they found themselves tied at 41, but what a home stretch run yet again from OpTic Gaming, and there's a reason you drop the sniper rifle for Formal, and he hits the shots.
That's very, very true. And I mean, our question while we were doing our prep for the NA Super was, will OpTic Gaming be able to win those close games in the biggest of matches? They've done it consistently throughout this tournament. Look at the series against Sentinel. Close game, close game, close game. But they get the wins. That's the difference in the kind of, you know, the ruthlessness that I keep talking about with this OpTic lineup. They are not allowing those games to slip through their fingers, and they're not allowing those bad memories to come back. And now you can see with Capture the Flag Catalyst next, this is the chance for G1 because this has been their game type.
Right, we've seen them play very, very well on this game type specifically time and time again. And as we also identified, it's a map that plays really unique relative to the rest of the map and game type suite in Halo Infinite. So far, G1 has capitalized on that and found the right way to play this game type and this map. Game 3, a chance for them to get back into the series. If not, OpTic Gaming goes up 3-0, only becomes one game away from closing out the grand final very quickly.
Yeah, that would be a very, very quick result for them, and a result I'm sure they were more than happy to have go their way if it is going to be 4-0 for G1. The road looks even longer at this point. Now they have to win numerous games in a row just to have a chance of resetting that bracket and going to the second best of 7, but there's some way to go before we even start to entertain that fact. For now, for G1, they've got to try and work their way back into this series. First up, they've got to win this next game.
Yeah, that's right. I think once again, the G1's coming into this with nothing to lose, right? So I don't think that they're going to be too down mentally, emotionally here 2-0 in the series. I think they're remembering that, hey, we're here at the grand finals. Let's put on the best show we can. So I think in terms of team spirit, in terms of morale, I think they're going to look to this game 3 as a real chance to get right back in the series. If they can make it 2-1, we could go the distance here.
Yeah, that's the difference, right? Make it 2-1. How different does that series layout look? Momentum shifts. Yep. All of a sudden, OpTic may be thinking, oh, we're in for a little bit of a longer night than we thought we might be in for. However, on the flip side of that, you could say G1 do not take this game home, which is obviously one which I'm sure they would love to pick against any team because they have so much success on it. What does that mean for them if they don't manage to close things out? This is a big opportunity, a big moment in this series for both of these teams. If OpTic manage to do it and take home this win, they'll be one map away from calling themselves the North American Super Champions.
Yeah, right. We're underway here in game number 3. OpTic Gaming leading in the grand finals 2-0. Over G1, who has had a historic run so far on Championship Sunday. Can they stay alive and get this series into the later games?
I wonder if Trippy's going to look to just dive bomb down onto that overshield, or if it's going to be the responsibility of another teammate. With teammates falling around him, it looks like Trippy's now, his job has changed. He's trying to stay alive, trying to deny the overshield. Going to G1, he picks up a kill, but he can't do the former, as it will go into the hands of G1. Switch has got the Ovi, the first time they can push.
Interestingly, does not go spikes here, does not take the time to grab the spikers, instead just wants to get the right angles. It looks like has been spotted out, so needs to wait for teammates here, try to do as much damage as he can.
You can see the Predevenator has the ability to pick up some nice kills on the other side of the map, but the unfortunate thing is the push is a little bit staggered, right? There really wasn't the support, even though Switch was dealing damage to multiple members. OpTic just were able to bait Switch, get that damage down, and stay alive long enough to pick off the G1 players one by one. So the first overshield just completely negated, as now you can see that it's Lucid who has a chance to hit a one-shot. That's what he's going to do.
One dead for each side there. Also, one thing we got to talk about was the isolation of OpTic Gaming to take down Boo Boo bottom middle there to make sure they weren't getting pushed by a 4. So they had actually a one-man advantage in the 4-3 on the overshield push. Trippy picks up another one. That was 2 dead for G1.
Swish is going to be getting that flag moving though, so you're going to see a little bit of a flag exchange by the looks of things. Swish has a huge amount of responsibility now. He can't get the job done because there's 2 players to deal with, but here comes Boo Boo. Trippy versus Boo Boo, and Trippy wins it, but there comes the support. There comes the supporting cast, and it's going to be Squally now who moves in, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't know Formal's there. Formal comes from behind and manages to get the touch on the flag for OpTic.
And the hero slide from Formal as well. He comes in, gets the kill he needed to, like you said, keeps the flag alive. We will have a flag standoff here, as half of G1 will be spawning. The flag will come back. OpTic Gaming is the first to strike. Took just under 2 minutes to play.
And that whole play from Formal just comes down to experience, right? Most players, they'd see the opportunity to run in, get a touch on the flag, but Formal takes that extra 2 or 3 seconds just to formulate a little bit of a flank, come behind where is the team expect him to be, and off of the back of that, manages to get that kill, get that flag touch, and put OpTic into a lead. But Swish with this overshield is doing so much damage at the moment. 3 players dead, and Swish has been involved in all of these.
4 dead, double kill for Swish. APG's your first spawner. He spawns back flag, so does Lucid. Big opportunity here. Swish needs to be ready for them.
APG taken down, dealt with. Lucid trying to clean up the damage, but where is the rest of the help? It's not arriving once again for G1, and OpTic will hold strong. 2 overshields they've lost, but 2 battles inside of the base they've won.
Yeah, it felt like G1 wasn't necessarily predicting the flag spawns, and you can't blame them there. That's a tough one to call. The flag spawns save OpTic a bit, if I'm honest. They help get them out of that situation. 3 dead, though, once again. Swish still alive here. APG is your first spawner.
APG. Looking to survive, not going to be able to. Now the push is coming in for the rest of OpTic. Switch is trying to deal with Trippy, manages to do so. Really, really good shots from him. And now you're seeing a sneaky little flagpole coming in from G1, and Squall off the back of the kills is going to tie up the game here. It's 1-1. There's life in G1 yet.
And another pull here for Boo Boo there. Let's see if they can get this kill on APG. Wow. It would have been big, but I love the aggression, love the decision making from the G1 side. They will tie up the game 1-1. And now things get a little bit more interesting. Switch to last player alive for G1.
You talk about pivotal kills, right? You talk about APG finding himself in those situations more often than not when he comes out on top. There was an example of it. If he loses that battle, there's probably a flagpole coming in for G1. But for now, we turn our attention to Trippy because he's trying to turn his attention to multiple players from G1, and he's not going to be able to do so.
Who tries to stay alive there with the grapple on the back of the flag. It'll be one dead for each side. Lucid now skewer in hand, which is dangerous, but all eyes bottom middle for this overshield in 5 seconds.
Lucid can just lock down this side of the map, though, and you can see he's thinking about if a player tries to peek from G1, tries to go towards the brute nades, he should have that first shot advantage. He missed the skewer shot, but he certainly connected with the battle rifle shots. Devon now comes in. That's going to be a staggered push now, and staggered lines of sight on the overshield for both teams, and it looks like Booby's just going to say, I don't care about that. I'm going to fly in. I'm going to grab this thing, and Trippy just has to watch him do it.
Third overshield in a row for G1. They have every single power-up in this game. Boo Boo's going to fly at Lucid as well and use that overshield to his advantage. Barely wins it, though, because that's just how good Lucid's shot is. Boo Boo manages to stay alive. 2 spikes, 2 grapples yet to play with, but great power-up control from G1. It's a huge reason they're tied 1-1 in this game.
Tied 1-1, but with that many overshields, you may want to see a little bit of a different scoreline for G1. You may want to see them in the lead, and OpTic now having to hold the line once more. Great shots coming in from the Pulse Carbine just to rip away at the shields. Lucy trying to defend with his life at the moment and hold off almost the whole of G1 on his own.
That was 3 dead, and Boo Boo unfortunately spikes himself while grappling in for the grab. So things will reset. 2 dead yet again. A 3 dead for OpTic Gaming, and G1's looking very good and very different in this game number 3.
And Lucid had no idea that Squall was playing that close corner, just walked out and got back smacked. And that was the catalyst for this to start. Boo Boo then moves in, picks up the double, clears the way. Now, can they stop this spawn overextension? Can they stop the players wrapping into the base? There's a 4-man army about to approach the G1 flag. This round of Slays decides if we have a lead here for G1 or if OpTic managed to keep it at 1-1.
Squall charge shields, charge right in time. 2v2 here in the back of the base as this flag comes back. Now, Lucid last player alive.
Lucid last alive, and he's not in any kind of position to stop this. G1 go into a lead. It's a perfect run from them. Perfect execution of the second round of kills as well, as the overextension came from OpTic Gaming, and now they look to push forward once more.
Big signs of life from G1. As we said, they have excelled on this map and this game type combo specifically, and now taking the lead for the first time in a while into this series. 2-1 with 6 minutes left. Still a lot of game to play in game number 3.
But just a little bit of belief. It's amazing how taking the lead in a game can give you a little bit of belief, right? As now we see Lucid adding to his tally of kills, but his last player and his last victim is in front of him here. He's giving him a little bit of trouble, but here comes Trippy to support him now. The overshield goes to OpTic the first time they've had the power up.
First overshield grab, and as we were started to talk about here, with 3 overshields going to G1 and then leading 2-1, you have to think if OpTic can start to get control of this power up, that could really swing things in a big way, and it already has. 4 dead for G1. OpTic Gaming looking to run the game tying flag.
And that's how you use an overshield if you're Trippy. You walk forward, you deal damage, you let your teammates clean up. He picked up 2 on his way, as the rest of his team now will try and do what G1 did a few moments ago. It's time for round number 2 of the battle for the flag. Who's going to win it this time?
Squall and Dev trying to work together here. Kill straight out. I think Trippy's just going to go straight ahead. And doing very well to do so. And he gets the cap as well. Devon's likely going to get this kill. 4 dead. Devon, only player alive on the map. A very rare scenario, so he's going to go all the way to the halfway mark. But OpTic Gaming will tie the game.
Well, this is a really smart decision to run it Ivy side, though, because he can maybe go for that slide, maybe get across and beat the rest of OpTic Gaming across the map. Teammates spawning in the base is a good thing as well for it, because that means they can deal with the spawns coming in from OpTic almost immediately. But now Squall has to stay alive. They didn't deal with that, and that's a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a misplay as Lucid gets taken down. Trippy, once again, the hero for OpTic Gaming. He's done it numerous times in this game, getting those last-minute stands almost single-handedly.
Goal line stand for Trippy and OpTic Gaming, and it flips all the way around on its head. Then he was the last player alive on the entire map. G1 decided not to drop and shoot. They tried to force a flag, and it cost them.
The problem here for Trippy is that he kind of ran that towards the spawners. He wasn't to know it, as he was the only player alive momentarily on the map. But G1, those spawns slow things down, but we are tied up at 2-2. The overshield coming up once more. OpTic already with eyes on it. It's Lucid's POV, and he wants to try and deny this one going to G1.
G1 gets this overshield. You got to think they've got a very good chance. Great kill there. Boo-Boo's able to drop down, gets the no! Overshield will stay bottom middle. It's actually going to get played off the map by OpTic. That's going to be Trippy, who forces the overshield off because he knows it's been too much of a factor in this game. They can't risk it here. Squad lane trying to run the flag. They did have one dead, but now we'll be even here, 3v3.
APG just smelt danger there for a second. Rotated back to his base and combining with Lucid does the work to take 3 players down from G1. Boo Boo now has to retreat. That flag's not going anywhere.
Wow. Great timing there from OpTic. Once again, G1 trying to get a little scrappy on the flagpole, which we still got to appreciate, but it's going to be difficult to do against a team like OpTic Gaming.
Certainly is indeed. And APG just making the right decision at the right time, right? Sometimes you get that spawn, you look across map, you look towards the opposition's base. This time he rotated right back, made sure that his base was safe before he gave the rest of his teammates the platform to move forward. As now Trippy is doing what he does best. That's getting inside the base. This time it's not a goal line stand because G1, they were 3 dead in that circumstance. If that player doesn't take down Trippy, then that could have been an opportunity for OpTic to go into a lead.
Boo-Boo, last player alive. He hits the nades and the shots he needs to. Otherwise, that flag is all the way across the map at this point. It's a big stop from Boo-Boo to keep the game at 2-2.
2-2 and 2 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock as well. So now you're starting to get into the territory of thinking, is the next flag going to be the one that wins this one?
Also the next overshield, right? Is the next overshield going to be what decides which direction the flag goes? Formal wants to start pushing. If there's one thing we know about OpTic Gaming, it's that they know how to turn it on late, but actually Swish is going to get taken down by a team date based on what we just saw on screen. Now kills will be traded out, and now the battle for mid-map will commence.
Devin picks up the kill onto Trippy as well. That's a double for him after the help came in from Scoreline with around 10 seconds till those players are back in the game. There's also 10 seconds till the overshield is up. So Devon's going to start running this flag, and that is going to split the decision now for OpTic. Do they try and stop the flag? Do they try and prioritize the overshield? This is a worrying moment for OpTic, but a good one here for G1.
2 dead here still for OpTic. Boo-Boo's going to go and maybe go for a touch
here.
He does. He's going to run it here towards Squall. They still have numbers.
But they let the overshield go. How did they let the overshield go? Formal gets his hands on it, and that's going to shut everything down here for G1. OpTic relying on Formal to make a play on the OS, and with the kills going the way of G1 in the build-up to that, I'd have to see it back, but that looks like a misplay coming in from G1.
Squall gets a touch here, interesting, but they let the touch come in. They're not too worried about it because Devon's the last player alive. They're going to get that re. It's a triple kill, killing spree for Formal late in the game. They're going to run the flag as well.
And I bet they're thinking, how did we let that happen? How have we let the overshield slip through our fingers? Because now, off the back of the triple kill, off the back of the flag going home, Formal is running it home here for OpTic. This man is doing it all.
Where's the overextension here? Who's in position? Squall picks up 1. Kills will be traded out 2 for 1 in favor of OpTic.
2 for 1 in favor of OpTic, but Formal is just waiting for his teammates to do the damage. They do exactly that, and Formal leads the troops into a lead here with just 50 seconds or so left in this game. OpTic make a play, and it's off the back of the decision-making of Formal.
Once again, is the late game composure of OpTic Gaming. In the last minute of play, they do exactly what they need to. They grab that overshield here, and now G1 only has 40 seconds on the clock to get a flag back home.
Do have 2 dead though, and Trippy's gonna have to retreat. Lucid's trying to wrap back, Boo-Boo staying alive. So this is the last chance to loot here for G1. This needs to be a flag cap, and it looks like there might be a flank for Boo-Boo here. They have no idea that he's behind enemy lines, but how does he prioritize his time? Is it going to be to deal with Trippy? Trippy turns on him, and that could be the game-changing play coming in from Trippy.
That's huge. Devon's the last player alive. He's got no chance. Squall spawns, though, right by the flag. Let's see what he can do in the feed.
Squall's trying to do what he can, but he's got Lucid and APG to deal with. Now spawners are coming in. Trippy's still alive, though. Where is that flag with just 3 seconds left? Surely that is going to be the return coming in, and it's going to be OpTic, who clutch up once again in game number 3. It's 3-0 in the series, and everybody had moments in that game where they needed to perform.
How about Trippy watching the back door, right? Hey, is that back door locked? Trippy goes and backs and checks it, wins a battle he had no business winning. Boo-Boo Doo-Boo on the flank, he gets caught out. Trippy with a big win to lock things down. Look at the numbers once again. Lucid leading the game here, 24 and 15 in the end.
Boo could have won the game there. It's so difficult, right, to put yourself in that scenario. You see everything in front of you. It's like you're walking as a kid to the sweet store and they say, take what you want, but you're not sure because there's too many options to choose from, right? And
in the end, he made the right choice.
He made the right choice, but choices, decisions, execution has to go alongside it. Trippy made him pay. If he picks up that 1 kill, it's a flag cap. It's as simple as that. And instead, it isn't what happens in the game, and we know what happened after that, but we need to give some credit to Formal as well. You know, we're going to take a look at the damage stats, because that ability and that play, the decision, I don't know how it happened, but him getting the overshield in a situation where OpTic seemed to be down numbers, then gets a triple kill, then runs the flag home, those little things are the difference makers.
APG, by the way, 16 assists. It almost goes without saying. You can just assume that APG has double the assists of anyone else on the team. Huge numbers for him. That led to 5,700 plus damage for him. But I have to agree, Formal sneaking through in a time where they had 2 dead for like 30 to 40 seconds was unbelievable. What a game number 4 it was. So back and forth.
I mean, look at this win again from APG. That's the kill that matters, right? We said it a number of times. APG with the win on the front ramp, where he had to slow down the push, stagger the push, and allow teammates to get back. That was the difference maker. But Formal, I think that he's had probably his best series that I've seen so far in HCS competition. He's looked absolutely unbelievable. Not just the shots he's been hitting, not just the decision making, but the clutch moments from him as well. He's been ruthless.
Early on, it was very good power-up control from the side of G1. They had everything. And in the end, they're able to get a 2-1 lead. Keep in mind, they were looking good here at 2-1, but if we know anything, it's that beating OpTic Gaming will take a full game effort, and they're going to make it very difficult.
This was a time flag from Trippy. Just about managed to get this one home as well. You saw him just stagger, step before sliding that one in.
Beautifully done. Here's the one where they don't drop and shoot at all.
This is the one where they made the mistake, though, and we mentioned how mistakes get highlighted, right, against a team like OpTic Gaming. There's a few moments there where if they're watching the VOD back, G1, they'll know that they could have had something so much better than they did. They had some great situations. I'm starting to wonder maybe if fatigue is coming into it, because earlier on against Cloud9 Sentinels, those mistakes were not being made.
Yeah, it's also it's tough to say also. Could have been a play call that came in that said run the flag fast, right? Someone could have seen something that would have indicated. It's easy for us, of course, in the casting booth here with the advantage of observer mode to look at these decisions, but the call might have come in from the squad to try to run that flag fast, and they were only a few inches off of the flag stand in the end, but it will be a 3-2 win for OpTic Gaming, a come-from-behind win on CTF Catalyst to put them 1 game away from 4-0 in the grand finals.
Match point. It's as simple as that for OpTic Gaming, and I'm sure that if we were in a live environment right now and the OpTic fans were sat in front of the green wall, they would be saying 1 more game. That chant would be ringing out through the arena. We'll have to wait for Orlando for that, and if this situation arises. But what a game and what a series OpTic have given us so far. Now for G1, it has to be the start of the ultimate comeback, the almost unthinkable comeback. And they have to start here on Streets with King of the Hill.
They do, and credit where credit is due. Look at these games, right? Game 1, a 2-0 win for OpTic. That's a clear one. G1 only 4 kills behind in Live Fire Slayer. 1 flag behind in CTF Catalyst. If 2 plays go differently over the course of the past 25 minutes, this could be 2-1 G1. So G1 needs to not count themselves out just yet. They're still in this series, but they are going to need to reverse sweep the green wall to reset the bracket.
To have another go.
Yeah.
It really is, when you put it like that, it kind of gives a little bit of weight to the task in front of them, right? But crazy stories have happened in esports over the years. We've seen some of the most miraculous comebacks. We've seen some of the most ridiculous things you didn't even imagine were possible. Maybe this is where it starts for G1. This is where it has to start for G1 if they want to send this to a second best of 7. But for OpTic Gaming, they are so close now. They can almost taste a championship coming their way. It's 1 more map for them to close things out. It's King of the Hill on Streets.
And how much momentum it would give them to 4-0 here into Orlando, right? If they win this tournament convincingly, a 4-0 sweep heading into the Orlando Major, it would do so much for this team and the green wall. 3 dead off the opening for G1. OpTic will grab the Rockets as a result.
Booby manages to get Lucid down into the death screen at least, and that's big because that means the Rockets are down. That means OpTic may be thinking about prioritizing that power weapon instead of the hill. Trippy's going to try and make a move, and he'll be taken down as well. So tiny things, Andy, we always talk about how tiny things can have the butterfly effect, right? 1 kill from Boo changes everything on the map.
Yeah, Boo just spikes out the L. He gets the Rockets in the end, gets good damage off of it as well, and now things will be pretty evened up here, even though the opening looked so good from OpTic. It's a really good response. Like you said, last player alive, Boo making sure to keep his team in the game off the spawn.
Trippy though, Trippy just predicting the movement from Boo Boo Doo. Great damage from Boo Boo with a Stalker Rifle, but it wasn't enough for him to take down Trippy, who just predicted and sliding around that corner with the frag grenade. But look at the amount of time that's on the board right now. OpTic just stepping into the hill when they feel it comfortable to, but you can also see when they haven't got numbers, when they're not sure of every single player on G1's location, they're not afraid to just bait that hill, make G1 come to them.
2 dead here. Devin behind enemy lines, but the team did really well to clean up the kills before he was even needed. Picks up another one on Lucid. Now he knows he needs to watch Driveway, but Spawn's also coming in here from PD and Heaven.
Grenade starting to rain down on him as well. Swish is going to pick up 2 on Arcade, so that's going to be 2 dead from OpTic. Last 2 players will be spotted out here as well. 4 more shields will be stripped away from him, and now comes the push from G1. Wow. Wonderful shot there as well with that Stalker Rifle. And we mentioned how this weapon has become a game changer. It is now the game changer. You can lock down so many angles, and you pick up so many kills. Devin showing us just that.
Beautiful stuff here from Devin with the Stalker Bulldog combo, still alive somehow. I even think he might have got even more kills if he wasn't catching the geo of those walls. Now they're at 50% on the first hill.
And look where OpTic are spawning as well, all the way over on the pink street towards the backside of Tram. Good news for OpTic is that push. The hill really isn't #1 target on the map because the rockets just dropped as well. They will be down on Laundry, I think.
Yes.
As we see a 2-for-2 split at the moment. Trippy's trying to make the play on them, and OpTic will grab the rocks.
Oh, Trippy goes down though. That means rockets are down and tires. I believe they're also full. Devin somehow stays alive. What a run from Devin. Eventually he's taken down, but not before going 6-2. Squall also grabs the rockets, and he hits the Hail Mary.
Squall's got 1 more rocket to play with as well. APG is going to learn that very quickly too. And G1 are starting to control this hill, but look how tight it is. Look how much trepidation is being shown by both teams in this game. But no more time for trepidation as OpTic find themselves 3 dead. APG last alive, and now they know where he is.
You tell Squall wanted that thrust real bad. He started picking up everything but the thrust. He stays alive on rail. Look at the score here, 70% on the first hill for G1.
Last push here from OpTic. Maybe they think about giving this one up because they're all inside a Tram. Instead, it's going to be a 3-man push down on the driveway, and it's never a great idea. It's so difficult to funnel through that tight corridor. And now you're going to see Squall not only hold it down, but also do damage on these Tram players. And that means that not only the first point goes to G1 here, but they're going to be able to collapse, and they should be able to hold Tram before OpTic can get anywhere near.
Great work from Squall, and the entire G1 roster stays alive on rail. Like you say, goes front seat, does the damage they needed to even come off the back of that to continue scoring. And G1 still in this grand final.
3 dead for OpTic once more. APG last alive. Should be able to pick up 1 mid-map, but the damage that's been done to him means he cannot push until his teammates are back on the map. And you can see already Squall flying up the pink street. Boo Boo's inside of Tram, but look at this sneaky place. APG's managed to kind of sneak behind enemy lines here. The radar isn't working for G1. They haven't been able to find him, and now it can cause problems. APG finds 1, Lucid finds 1. APG breaks through. That's 2 for him, and 4 dead for G1.
It's clinical. It's the SWAT team once again for OpTic Gaming. They fly in the back door this time, taking advantage of that. Rockets also in the hands of Lucid's 2 still ready to go. Trippy watching the C stairs. This is total control for OpTic Gaming.
APG, that had no right to get into that position. You maybe think that's a misplay coming in from G1, not making sure that APG was taken care of as last player alive, or maybe it's just brilliance from APG, denying line of sight on that route that he decided to take. But for now, the rockets aren't going to connect. That means that OpTic's still alive, but 2 have fallen. So now there's an opportunity for G1 to step in this hill. Look how close this hill is, by the way. G1 have a very, very slight advantage, but you have to say that OpTic are just a few moments away from turning that over.
Man, OpTic doing so well to bait out those rockets. 2v2 on the map now. And now these battles here might determine who gets this hill.
Trippy bouncing a couple of frag grenades. Squall deciding to just back out for now. Grabs that Bulldog as Devon's going to be able to get the trade on Formal as well. So a 3 for 3 on the map, and look at this flank now. APG has no idea this time. Not so sneaky this time, Bradley. And Squall sniffs him out.
Very well done here. Bulldog has been huge on this Tram hold. About 90% of the way here for G1. They just need a few more kills to close this out.
And the Bulldog's the difference maker inside a Tram, right? So many tight corners, so many little corridors, and also a couple of plasma grenades to be caught by Formal. That is going to be 3 dead here for OpTic. That is going to be the second hill going towards G1. They are not just back into this game, Andy. They might be back in this series.
Leading in a big way here. This is the best they've looked in the grand final so far, and as we expected, they are not going down without a fight. Nothing to lose, and putting everything on the line here in game number 4.
Bulldogs barking once more. Trippy gets taken down. OpTic lose 3. APG last alive. It's a 1v1 between APG and Boo, but Boo makes the smart play to make sure that he picks up that Bulldog. Keep it out the hands of OpTic, and at least fight the next team fight with that weapon.
Goes Neons here, takes a really creative angle there, goes all the way across through the L, looks to help the team. Still 2 dead for OpTic, so still G1. Great game so far. That should be a rocket toss over here to Boo, who turns on Formal, picks up 1. Stays alive as well. Finally will burn the second rocket. 2 dead for each side continuously.
Now, the difficult thing here for G1 is we know how strong the hole can be around this statue hill, right? If you can lock this one down, you can do what you do best. It's almost like the oddball setup that you see teams have. The difference is you haven't got an oddball to worry about. You've got 4 battle rifles ready to go at any point, plus any sandbox weapons you can pick up. Off the back of that point, if you manage to convert, you haven't got too far to go to that next hill as well. You can kind of transfer one setup to the next. If you lose this one, it could be 2-2 very quickly.
Boo staying alive there, but they're really just chaining together the last player alive deaths, and look at what it's done to the scoreboard. OpTic Gaming now 60% of the way on this 3rd hill. They've put all the time on the board that they needed, and they've done it very quickly.
Lucid with the thrust is going to be able to survive for a few seconds as well. That means the help's going to come in now from the likes of Formal. A little bit of cross-map damage to make sure that the stats weren't affected too much. And while all that's going down, OpTic are locked down the statue hill. They get that point on the board. They half the deficit now. And now they have full setup once again on the pink street
They
too.
do. Look at this, though. Big battle here. G1 wins the 1v2 trade. They're going to try to clear this out as well. They need to take down APG on the den. That's 3 dead for OpTic. What a great response from G1.
Lucid last alive, and Pete Esports as well. So that push from G1 has flipped the map completely here. And what looked like a great hold, a great setup for OpTic Gaming, has just withered away. It was a wonderful decision, a brave decision to send the 3 people up the pink street, but it worked. And now you can see that it's difficult for OpTic to force their way in. Boo will fall though, and maybe Devin will as well to Lucid. Great shots coming in from Lucid.
Last player alive, Squall, doing a very good job to stay alive as long as he could. Eventually he's taken down. Lucid is taking the route that's becoming more and more popular, where you walk up front to A, because it's not watched from all the standard angles. It's a little bit of a late meta there, where you could just walk up bottom middle and get away with front A, and that's exactly what he does.
Rockets on the map as well. Devon's going to grab them. Devon's going to miss them though. 2 rockets burnt. No kills to go alongside it as well. They're the little moments. They're the little difference makers that could now see OpTic Gaming lock down this next hill. Squall Eyes last alive. He'll pick up one onto Trippy, but is it enough as APG is just sat happily inside that hill?
Yeah, APG was a resulting last player alive there. He's still on the Bulldog box. They do see him. They find him right away. They need to take him down. And that will still give them an advantage here, 3v3 momentarily.
Both teams just running at each other as well. You're just seeing it. There's been numerous fights on this pink street where it's been like 2 Rams kind of headbutting each other and just trying to see who backs up the most. Formal versus Boo. Boo will pick up a double mid-map, and now it's Swish who's on his own. And that'll be OpTic being able to jump in, but Swish on his own manages to out-BR APG using that head glitch angle so well.
Swish, a man between 2 ferns, and he hits the beautiful grenade and the headshot finish to keep his team alive. Off the back of this, they will still maintain a man advantage, and they should get this point, especially if they can get this next kill.
One more push really to hold off here from OpTic Gaming. If they could do that, then maybe they will be able to give themselves a 3-1 lead, and with that bottom middle hill next, you know how difficult that is to lock down, but Boo is now last alive as OpTic make a huge push onto the pink street hill. They get the point, and now we go to bottom middle, and this is anyone's game.
Heartbreaking for G1. They were so close there, but as you say, it's a perfect push from OpTic Gaming to steal their second point, as we will now rotate to the 5th hill. 53 seconds left on the clock. OpTic Gaming can steal this game away yet again and close out the grand finals.
A little reminder to everyone as well, the adjustment to the King of the Hill rules, right? If this is tied up at the end of the game, full reset. We go again. And we'll have to see if that is the case for the first time. We're going to see it today. But OpTic look like they want to win on this bottom middle hill. We've already seen a couple of teams develop a game on this bottom middle hill where it's no longer just a case of slaying out your opponents. You can lock this one down. You can get this point on the board.
This is when OpTic Gaming gets even scarier here. 2 dead for each side. Squall's going to try to get away with the rockets and somehow stays alive off of the help from Boo Boo. But this is when OpTic Gaming becomes their scariest. Moments away potentially from a tournament win, but they would need to have an incredible hold bottom middle. Right now, you would think that we're going to OT.
You would think that. But both teams inside of the hill at the moment. Formal feels the power of the spike grenades.
Jeez.
As I'm sure at some point we all have on Halo Infinite. Now the Stalker Rifle is going to be in the hands of Squall. Look at G1. They want to jump inside of this hill. They want to do some damage, but so does Formal. Just absolutely bumped Squall in that fight.
3 dead for G1. OpTic gonna hold here this whole time. Tram spawn's coming in for G1 as well. 10 seconds left on the clock and it will freeze as OpTic continues scoring.
They're sat inside of this hill. They're doubling up on it. They're just facing all of these players from G1. Squalline's gonna fly in, but Swish is gonna take down a couple. Now Lucid finds himself as last player alive. The hill is stopped and Lucid will fall as well. It's very much possible still here. It is very much possible. OpTic need to be extremely careful.
Look at the damage now. The next damage might determine if G1 can steal this game away here. They're going to continue scoring. They jump out for just a second.
They jump out because Formal's just picked up a double kill. It's as simple as that. Boo Boo is now last alive. He's trying to survive and do what he can, but the question is, will OpTic jump in? Yes is the answer. OpTic want to win it here and now.
2 dead for both sides, though. This one should tick down. Someone should step out. We'll see. G1 stays in the hill. Is not over yet. Flashing at 0 seconds left. If anyone steps out, this game is over.
And OpTic are down 2 numbers as well. Everyone's stacking the hill. Look how close G1 are. Lucid's trying to make the flank. Formal will pick up one. Lucid picks up another, and that might be the end of this game. We're into sudden death here. When that pie chart disappears,
Triple!
we could be going into a reset.
Oh
but
my God.
Trippy's in the hill.
Oh my God.
Off the back of the triple, and OpTic is still alive.
This should be it here. Time will tick down. They will get it in the most unbelievable fashion. OpTic Gaming will steal the game in double sudden death and win the grand finals here at the HCS NA Super.
Unbelievable from OpTic Gaming. Wow. What else can you say?